Tech troubles. That has been the story of my last 2 months. See, I like to get the most advanced tech so I can comment on how primitive it is. And I did 2 things with all my phones in a 2-month period. I switched to Vonage, which was the first. Switch to Vonage. Now, first of all, they give you a 30-day free trial, and where you could end without your contract being ruined. They don't tell you the 30 days starts from when you call them on the phone saying, I'd like to try Vonage. You actually are using Vonage 12 days later. And it ends on the weekend, and you have to cancel beforehand. So your actual trial is about 17 days. 10 days into it, I get complaints why I'm not returning anyone's messages. Now, I have had for 3.5 years a very sophisticated fax answering machine, which can tell the difference between the fax and the call. Now, if the Vonage would have screwed it up and it thought everything was a fax, she'd have called me, gotten and said he left the fax on and hung up. No, it says, hi, leave a message, and then when you start talking, it switches to fax. Which I finally was able to diagnose by calling from my cell phone while sitting next to it. So I call Vonage Tech, and you get well, it was a woman at this point, who's reading off this checklist, and you're saying, no, we did that, we did, and it's like, you don't know what you're talking about, sir, we have to do this correctly, because I can't go off the checklist, it's scripted. So after a while, she says, I figured it out, your Panasonic thing by coincidence broke at the same time. So I call Panasonic, and get a moron who spends an hour doing the stupidest things, only to then tell me, they're right, the unit broke, you need a new one. So I go, are you sure it's broken, or you just don't know what the problem is? And she goes, I assure you, sir, I ran a diagnostic of your circuit board, and your circuit board reported back that it has been fried. So you either need to fix it, or for less money, buy a new one. Then she got into all these lies about the deal she was going to give me because and that mine wasn't available, so I had to buy another one, but all my base units only worked with this one, so I had to buy more base units. So it then says, check the website and call back tomorrow. I call back the next day, having checked the website and see my phone thing is available, get the same woman who then says it was never offered and not on the table. So I get one separately, only to find out she was completely lying when she said she had tested it. And it was Vonage, so I now have 2 machines that don't work. So I call Vonage. I also complained to Panasonic. I said, you said you take the phone call? Go over it, please. Anyway, I call Vonage, and they finally admit that they have a super secret tech level who will now diagnose my problem. Now, it used to be that the techs you get at a company were people who came in and were trained, to read off a script. But the computer geek from birth who came to the company was the super high tech. Now the super high tech turns out to be someone who is so good at calming you down when they couldn't handle your problem that they got promoted. So she was really sweet about telling me she couldn't do a thing for me. But they had someone else call me the next day who actually knew technology. And I spend an hour and a half on with him, going through this and this and this, till he finally tells me I'm right. It's fine, and it goes, he finally figured it out together. They have a new device they had just come out with a month ago, replacing the old Vonage device, and it uses a bad voltage, which doesn't affect every machine, but it's affecting mine. And the old unit, you could regulate the voltage. The new ones, they can't. So they're sending me the old one. We wait a week, I get the old one, it has a note in it. We ran out of old ones, so I upgraded you at no charge to the new one. So I have 2 new ones and 2 fax machines that don't work. So then we go through this whole thing of returning it, and they're going to give me a deal that I can't cancel anymore, but they're going to charge me $10 less a month, blah, blah, blah. Go buy at Best Buy or eBay. Well, Best Buy says, we've gotten rid of those months ago. And I won't buy eBay, I go to Amazon, and someone sells me new, not in the box. I put the old unit in, it don't work. Call up Vonage, goes, oh, she sold you a unit that was not paid for. So its code number will not work. Unless you want to pay her bill. And then go on your financial records for life as her creditor and her cosigner. So I then get in touch with her, and she claimed, oh, I don't know how I sold that. I'm only going to sell books from now on. Who gave that to me? And I didn't bother telling you left the original receipt when you bought it from Vonage in the package. So, we're still working on that trouble. But I decided that's not enough. I've been waiting to get the, what's it called? The bowl, the BlackBerry bowl. Now, I could have gotten an iPhone for $100 less 7 to 8 months ago when my contract ran out, but it wouldn't have taken all the information from my Sony Palm-based device. And this was going to take, as long as you're using Windows on your computer and have a Palm-based device, it can take all the information from it. Not true when you're the first one to actually buy it. No! It won't take from any Palm base. It won't even take from any Palm. Only the Palm Trio. Did we say something wrong there? Plus, when you call up the screen to do it, it came out in a language no one could figure out. But while I called AT&T, who connected me to RimTech that you can't get to, who I then, while we're on the phone, I cut and pasted some of the words from these instructions and found out it's in Malaysian. So now within a week, I told both Vonage and BlackBerry that they have a tech problem nobody knows about yet. And, okay, now have I solved my tech problem? I go, yeah, I cut and paste everything from one unit and put it in the other. in a 20, but then it gets better. On my Vonage, I then start saying, okay, let's use their voicemail for a while. I'll just lose my fax machine entirely, see how that works. And I go, I can call from my cell phone and get my messages on my home phone, but I can't call from the home Vonage phone. So I'm on with tech again. And they're going, yeah, several people have had this problem. We don't know why. So I said, is it possible that all those people have your new unit? And he looks at the thing and goes, yeah, it's only people with the new unit. I'm going, let me explain something. You started out a new unit that uses a bad voltage. Your machinery at Vonage can't understand the signals when people are using it to call Vonage. I'll tell you if we figure these out.